Welcome back to GCSAA TV Live, brought to you by Lebanon Turf. And we're having dueling interview shows here with the Golf Channel. How cool is that? You can come to the trade show here in San Antonio, and I can compete with Matt Janella for getting people's attention. He's got more Twitter followers than me, and he's hanging out with a Belichick wannabe over there. But we're over here talking about Fairway Fourway with Nathan Welsh from AgStone. Where is AgStone, Nathan? Let's start there.
So AgStone is located in Greenville, South Carolina.
No kidding. That doesn't sound like a New York accent to me.
Nope. We are right there in the upstate of South Carolina.
Upstate South Carolina.
Yeah.
Greenville, Spartanburg.
Yes, correct.
Where there are a lot of Clemson fans, I believe. And I know some really good ones at Corbin Turf. Are you familiar with the Corbin Turf,
I am familiar with
guys?
the Corbins, yes.
One of the great distributors in this country. So we're here to talk about Fairway Fourway. You look it up, and here's the big words I'm going to use for today. Oleic acid of block copolymers.
Yes.
Now, in English, I think people would call that a wetting agent.
So, yes, Fairway Fourway is a wetting agent that we got the patent on in 2014. We built the wetting agent around that oleic acid, that omega-9, if you will, type molecule, which the plant uses in times of stress.
So it has wetting agent surfactant properties.
Correct.
But you're saying as a molecule activates or has some biological activity in the plant?
So what happens is the plant recognizes that fatty acid and says, come on in. We can use you in times of stress.
Okay.
And because we've got the long and short chain for the wetting agent part,
right,
we're grabbing the water or the nutrients and the plant's saying, come on in.
Okay, so this is where, you know, in researching and preparing for this with you, Nathan, we don't want to just pop it over the ear there, just get it right back over the ear and you're good to go.
There we go.
One of the things I read and you said was, you use this product and maybe you're going to have more efficient use of nitrogen that you apply. Let's start with, where did you research this and how did you go about figuring this out?
So my partners and I have a chemical background, and in doing a little bit of field research initially, and then actually really finding Dr. Dara Park at Clemson University.
Okay, very good.
What really helped move things along. We had done some field trials, some plant tissue analysis pre and post, and noticed that there were additional nitrogen in the post.
In particular?
In particular.
Not P, not K, nitrogen.
No, we also saw additional P and K, but we really wanted to focus in on that nitrogen. And so with a sponsored program at Clemson University with Dr. Park, we were able to basically prove what we were seeing in the field.
So you worked with Dara Park
That's
on
correct.
this, a very competent soil scientist. So is you talk about the oleic acid coming into the plant, but at the same time, is there something going on in the soil when you apply this material?
Yeah, so the other thing that we were able to do and kind of engineer the product to do is make it kind of move in the soil, if you will.
Okay. Now, wetting agents are designed to sort of help things move a little bit,
And that's right, and wetting agents work. There wouldn't be so many wetting agents if they didn't work.
Well, I don't know about, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I mean, you know, we got lots of different products. You wonder sort of how much use they actually have. So when you tell me you got a wetting agent, my first response is, man, do we need another wetting agent? So you're telling me there's something different here.
That's correct. And in 2014, we were issued a U.S. patent, and that patent says that our chemistry is unique and not like anyone else's.
And you have research that's showing it's unique because it seems to be taken up by the plant and having these other effects. Do you know of any other wetting agents that have been shown to have these effects?
No.
I don't study wetting agent chemistry enough to know.
No, and we haven't seen, other than them being wetting agents, helping with localized dry spots, helping with maybe a little bit of uniformity, which our product does, which the Fairway Fourway does.
So it's a good standard. If you want to use it for a wetting agent, is it a granular?
No, it's a liquid.
It is a liquid. So you're spraying it. Is it compatible with everything else you're using?
Yes, it's very compatible. And the thing to remember is, along with nutrient uptake efficiency, we've seen where it makes other inputs more efficient as well.
Okay, so it is doing something to the plant or potentially enhancing uptake?
Correct.
And has Dara looked at enough to know if the oleic acid is going in and doing something, or is it that it's sort of triggering something that's happening?
What we've seen is basically the plant is recognizing that oleic acid and is allowing it to come in. And it being attached to those long and short chains is allowing the other things to come in, whether it be water or nutrients or the inputs with those positives and those
How long
negatives.
has this been on the market?
So it has been on the market since probably January of 2015. We got the patent in 2014.
Okay.
And it's been on the market since.
So it's a relatively new innovation.
Correct.
Let's go through in the early years of adoption how you're seeing guys use this thing. I mean, are they just basically using it like every other wetting agent?
So no, they're not, and thus the name of Fairway Fourway. You can essentially use this product 4 ways. If you want to use it once a month as a moisture manager, 6 ounces per 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
If you want to see more of nutrient efficiency, you can go at an initial app of 4 ounces per 1,000 square feet, water it into 1/4 of an inch, and then come back with your foliar applications at anywhere between 1.5 to 2 ounces per 1,000 square feet right through the season.
A soil treatment and then a follow-up tank mix combination with your nutrient package.
Correct.
Huh. And guys will do this throughout the season on warm and cool season grasses.
And that's correct. And so depending on the soil type, because we all know that although golf courses may be similar, the soil chemistry is going to be different at each one of them. Of course. And so the idea is, let's give a wetting agent, let's give them a tool that they can use into their spray programs and kind of tailor that to their needs.
Okay, so 4-way. One is a wetting agent.
Yeah.
One is part of nutrient uptake. What are the other 2?
So if you really apply the product at more than, say, 12 ounces per 1,000 square feet, you'll get that flushing effect. And then if you go as low as 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces per 1,000 square feet, you get a penetrant.
Okay, so there's a distinct difference, and you have research that shows it works one way and works another way.
That's
and
correct.
Dara did that as well. Professor
correct.
Park did that as well.
Yes.
Excellent. So what would you tell guys if they're considering using it? What's the best way to sort of get started? Because, you know, I think guys get married up to their wetting agent
yes,
programs,
for
right?
sure.
This looks like a tough market to break into it to some degree because, you know, there's a lot of long-standing companies that have sold wetting agents for a really long time.
Correct.
You get sarcastic guys like me who say, man, we need another wetting agent.
Yep.
What's the strategy now to start getting guys to begin to use, especially for the guys that aren't here with us today, aren't going to get to visit your booth?
Right.
What would you tell the guys that aren't here? What's the way to sort of know more about this and begin using it?
So basically, to start with, it's time for a change. There's time for a change in the wetting agent market.
Wait, why do you think there's time for a change? Let me hear it.
So you're absolutely right.
No one's listening. They're paying attention to Matt. They're not paying attention to us.
I saw a seminar that basically said that there's about 190, maybe 200 named wetting agents on the market available to superintendents today.
How many?
200.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's a lot.
Roughly 50% of those are the same chemistry.
Now, I can tell you that the understanding of wetting agent chemistry was always fairly low in this industry for a very long time.
Correct.
When Stan Zontek, God rest his soul, and
Yes,
Stan
sir.
Koska
Yes, sir.
published that article in the USGA Green Section Record a number of years ago, characterizing things by chemistries, talking about the blending that wetting agent chemists are using.
Yep.
That really sort of turned the tide a little bit,
It
where
did.
wetting agent people could have more educated conversations
Correct.
with the golf course superintendent. So you have 50% of the same chemistry. The other 50% look like they're blends. Some people tell me you're a predatrant. Some people tell me they're a wetting agent. I hear superintendents tell me, well, this one seems to keep the water up in the turf more, this one let it drain more, this one let it hold more. How would you characterize the chemistry? I know you've told me about oleic acid, but if you had to characterize it by the sort of way Koska and Zontek defined it, how would you define it?
So, if you remember in that article from 2012, at the very end of that article, the last paragraph said, be on the lookout for new stuff. Because those two gentlemen are very educated and very knowledgeable about wetting agents. And we're in that last paragraph.
So
be on the lookout for new stuff. Now, it's taken from roughly, I think, 2008 to 2014 for a new chemistry to come on the market. And that being mine, our wetting agent. And so when you're looking at trying to, what do you want from a wetting agent? A lot of times that's what I'll ask a superintendent. What do you want from a wetting agent? Well, I need a penetrant. Okay. I need something for localized dry spots. Okay. Well, I've got this modeling that's happening and I know there's not uniformity in my green and in my soil. I need that. So by using the Fairway Fourway and kind of tailoring it to what they're looking for, that's how I believe that we're different.
So I'm assuming this didn't come out of thin air, Nathan.
No.
AgStone, were you in the ag business before you got into the turf business?
So I spent a little time initially in the horticulture and turf business.
Okay.
Partner of mine is a chemist.
Okay.
And you know, you're sitting around drinking beer one day or you're having conversations and before you know it, there's a harebrained idea.
So is oleic acid and these block copolymers, did this chemistry exist in horticulture in some way and you're adapting it into?
No.
Are you selling this compound into horticulture and agriculture as well?
We would love to, but we're focusing on the turf industry at the moment because there again, it's time for a change.
So, thank you for congratulating me getting that award last night about environmental stewardship.
Yes.
Appreciate your kind words. Let me turn the conversation to the environment. You mentioned you think this product fits with a program that might want to be more environmentally responsible. Give me the story for that.
So that's correct. So we're getting the results with 10% active ingredient. So we've reduced the AI. I've got a product that is 98% biodegradable as delivered. The product also has 2 FDA allowances. And of the wetting agents that I've seen on the market, typically 30 to 40% biodegradable, no FDA allowances,
Okay.
and active ingredients in that 48 to 100%. So from an environmental standpoint, I just think that we're doing what's right.
And as we wrap it up,
Yep.
and the time goes fast,
Yes.
nitrogen and the nutrients uptake, you said, is a big deal. Obviously, it's a wetting agent. Do you have evidence that you're using water more efficiently as well?
So in some of our field trials, and actually some superintendents that are using the wetting agent, one has actually been able to reduce his fairway watering by 50%.
And I promised I wasn't going to ask you about fertilizer use, and we're coming to the wrap-up time, but let me ask you, are people mixing this compound with some of their pesticides and growth regulators for that benefit as well?
So we've done some tests with PGRs. We have done some things with some pesticides, fungicides and things. And you have to remember, it helps it become more efficient. That's the idea. It's not a matter of, oh, I can use less or I can cut back. No, let's make things more efficient.
Yeah.
So when you're putting that nitrogen out, you're not getting a typical 40 to 50% leaching or denitrification. Let's make it more efficient.
I don't think anybody would argue that enhanced efficiency is a big part of all the technology that's going to hold us in the future.
Correct.
Thank you for joining me,
No,
Nathan,
thank
from
you.
AgStone in upstate South Carolina,
Yes,
a
sir.
place I
Thank
have had
you.
the pleasure of visiting a number of times. And since we're talking wetting agents, we're going to a piece at the PGA Championship coming up at Belle Rive by Lebanon Turf, talking about wetting agents. Thank you for joining me for this section. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having
We've
me.
had to put up with Janella and the Golf Channel here for a little while. We're happy to get rid of these guys any minute. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be right back.